Oh man, you see, I was actually getting into a flow, but this topic showed up and it's like very, very disheartening because I'm a boxing fan and I want to see all the biggest fights there is to see. And I still have hope that I'm going to see them eventually. But right now, it's not looking good as Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Bud Crawford fight is at risk over a dispute within the contract details. Sources say Eddie Hearn says Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is also off as it stands today. Which fight is more likely to happen first out of the two? And if you want to kick us off again, go right ahead.
I mean, I would hope it's the Aerosmith Jr. and Terrence Crawford because I think that's the fight that more people want to see. I think the consensus on the Fury Joshua side is probably that Tyson Fury is going to win that fight. So I'm actually more interested in seeing Aerosmith Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. But it doesn't surprise me that the contract stalled, especially in the Joshua um Fury fight, just because I was shocked that Joshua, was agreeing to fight in the first place. You know what I mean? Like obviously he's kind of at the bottom of the barrel because he done lost all the belts, he done lost back to back. So he kind of has to take anything if he's going to continue to move on. But I just didn't think he would take the fight with Fury in the first place. So it doesn't surprise me that we're here. With the Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. fight, though, I think they ultimately do get it worked out. Um, just because I mean that's going to be one that's going to be a way bigger fight than Fury Joshua. Fury Joshua would have only been as big if Joshua still had the belt and it was a unification match. But because it's not, and again, most people already feel like Tyson Fury is going to win after watching lose your last couple of he lost three out of his last four fights. So
Absolutely. It's a tough, it's a tough question the way how it's worded because like it's like who do I think the fight, like which fight I think is gonna happen? Like it's tough because when you look at Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence in that situation, it's been a year of inactivity for Bud. So it's like, how long is these negotiations is going to stall before Bud says, all right, I need to be active. I need to fight again. Because that point also comes into play. A lot of people be thinking, oh, they got a whole year, 2 years to get it through. Like, nah, these fighters got to fight. At the end of the day, that's what they get paid to do. So it's not like we have, the time on our side where it's like, okay, we want to see that fight now. We have the time on our side. Nah. The last fight he fought was against Sean Porter. And I believe that was October of 2021. So it's coming up on a year now. Basically, you see, I'm living under the rock. I don't even know. Yeah, we actually in October. So it's a year now, that Terrence Crawford last fought. So, if you're Crawford, it's tough for me to say. I probably would refrain from like saying, just take what they give you because that's not being a good business, like savvy person, or just take what, they're not allowing you to get that transparency that you want when it comes to venues and just everything within the contracts and the little fine tuned things. But it's like, if you're Crawford, you kind of do need this fight. Like both fighters need to fight to some extent because your legacy is always going to be tied into one person, like Frazier and Ali. Their legacies is always combined. Mayweather, Pacquiao, their legacies is always going to be combined. And I think it's going to be the same here. So they both need to fight. But if you're Crawford, like, do you move up to fight Jamal Charlo at 154? It's like, I think Crawford, he needs this fight. Like, he needs it more because although we know what he's capable of, his resume, although it got better, Sean Porter was a step. Like Kell Brook was a step too, but Kell Brook, he got him like at the back and suffered two fractures in his face. It's like, I think Crawford, you need to, it's not like it's his fault. That's the thing about it. It's the politics of boxing. But all in all, I think Crawford, you need the fight. Like you really need this fight. And it's going to be unfortunate if this fight doesn't happen now because it's like, okay, if it doesn't happen now, when is it going to happen? Because these are two fighters who both said, let's get it on after, Spence beat you guys and after Crawford beat Sean Porter. It was like, all right, this is the time. We're going to get it. We're going to make it happen. So it's a lot of things, man.
that's what boxing has come to.
It is. And when you look at Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua side, I don't know. Like for me, I guess I'll say I think that would happen. And I don't want to say that because I don't want to see that. But the reason why is because a lot of people think that Eddie Hearn is going to just give Joshua these tune-up fights to build back his name. But it's like he's probably not going to get an opportunity like this again. Like,
Yeah.
remember, he lost to Usyk twice. So me not interested in seeing a third fight. We don't know how long Tyson Fury is going to stay boxing. He already floated with retirement. So it's like a big payday. All right, that's more money for you in a big fight, cash out. Of course, you're going to try to make that deal happen. And the way how Tyson Fury was coming at him, like, yeah, it was unrealistic that a fight like that would get made in a week, 2 weeks. So I think that Tyson Fury is just trolling, which he normally does. Like, Tyson Fury is a mind player. That's how he beats his opponent. Like, a lot of people look at the fight and his skills. He has skills for a guy that size. And yes, he has physical attributes, but he beats his fighters most of the time before they enter the ring because of the mind tricks. So I just think that this is a mind trick with him. I think they'll probably get a deal done because Usyk said he didn't want to fight this year. And yeah, so I guess to answer that question, I see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua kicking it off.
Yeah, well, listen, Joshua's going to have to humble himself a little bit more. Like you really have no legs to stand on in this one. You kind of got to accept. And he said he would accept all of the terms. So I don't know what's the hold up now. But like you said, this is the biggest payday you're going to get. There's no other fight out there for you that's going to pay you more than this. Even a Deontay Wilder fight is not going to pay you more because there's no belt on the line. So, you need to just take this fight and try to get that belt from Tyson Fury. Who knows? Listen, it's boxing, and it's anybody's day. Once that bell rings, anybody can win that fight. So, for all that you was talking all them years when you was ducking all that smoke from Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, now it really has come down to put up or shut up time, and you got to show and prove. And again, the start is with Fury. Like, championship, belt fights don't come that often. So when you got him, you better take him. You literally just lost 3 out of your last, 4 fights. You lost back-to-back fights, for your belt. You got to take what you can right now, if you're planning on continuing your career. Or, what you just going to be in the waiting room? Waiting? No, you got to. If you
bodybuilder Joshua.
Yeah, like, no, if that's the case, you got to get in that ring and fight. This is your opportunity. Go get that belt.
And I think, me personally, I can't speak for everybody else, but I think some people would agree with me here, is that even without the belts, right? Joshua and Wilder, that's a more intriguing fight than Joshua Fury to me. Like, I don't care if they fight for a quarter pound of cheese. Like, I would rather see that fight, than Joshua and Fury,
I would too, though. I would too.
Definitely. Like, I don't care about the belts being on the line. That's a fight that I want to see for years now, and I still want to see it. But
match that fight.
What you said?
I think it's more evenly matched.
Oh yeah.
Either way,
most definitely
outweighs both of those guys by like 30 pounds.
Absolutely. That physical advantage is always going to be a key with Tyson Fury, bro. It's like, But I think for me, and I end here with a question for you, because we talked about Bud and Spence. Now, you don't have to go and give your predictions because I know when that fight comes, you're probably going to do that on your show. So I'm not trying to spoil it here for you. But if you can give me your outlook for that fight and how that fight could potentially play out without going full in depth with your predictions, or if you want, by all means, brother, if you got a prediction who you think will win that fight, go right ahead. How do you see, what are some of the things that you're looking at when talking about this fight and what both fighters need to do possibly to win that fight?
I think it's going to be a great fight. If you put me on the spot, you're telling me to pick a winner, I got to go Errol Spence Jr. If you take Terrence Crawford, I'm not gonna be mad at you because really it's just a preference thing. But I just think I'd like Errol Spence Jr. in the fight. I think he wins the fight. I think the fight goes the distance, but ultimately I think Errol Spence Jr. wins that one.
I think for me, I see it being a split, and I see a trilogy potentially. Like it's so 50-50. I could see, Crawford winning one and Spence winning the part 2. Like, I really, really think that it's so 50-50 that 50 Cent couldn't pick it himself. Like, it's just that 50-50 to me. And because it's like, the thing I like about Crawford is he has that Jordan killer instinct with him. And I think that's always good to have, but it's like, in this fight, it's risky because you can walk into something with Spence. Spence is a guy that can walk you down. That's his style, just walking you down and delivering punishment and being, the physical fighter that he is with the advantages that he has in weight. Like, it's like he could tire you out. But Crawford is a guy Like you get him to that point where he want to go off on you, he gonna go off on you. So I think it's about who could be the smartest fighter and outthink the other fighter and just maintain their common sense to the point where they don't get erratic. Like that's how I see this fight playing out. So yeah, we'll have to see how the negotiations play out first in order for us to see how the fight play out. Yeah. And hopefully we'll do that and be able to see that very, very soon. Anthony, thank you for coming on the show. Looking forward to the other episodes that we got together, whether it's me on your show or you on mine. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you for having me, man. So it's always a pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, what we doing here? Like and subscribe to the channel to receive these updates of new uploaded content from myself, Real Lil, Zay, Good Vibes, and Zach Attack. We'll be back. Make sure you like and subscribe and feel the vibe always. Peace.